school, so he didn't really know much about Quanah Parker. It's Cynthia Ann Parker, but
stick around, you'll find out. Hey guys.
hello.
So today we are doing a little small town Texas adventuring.
We're going into the very scenic town of Quanah, Texas. So we're going to see what we see there. Don't know what we're going to get into. There's some interesting little stores I think we might pop into. Let's see, what else do we have to say? Oh, last night, our first night here at the state park, thunderstorms. Lots and lots of thunderstorms all night long. So that was fun. But we were fine. Nothing horrible. Just very loud.
Yes.
So, what else?
Just sit back and we'll take you along with us.
The town, if you didn't know, Quanah is named for Quanah Parker. He was the last chief of the Comanche Indians, and it's a really, really cool area. The history of it, if you look into it, you'll find a lot of historical markers, historical buildings, historical things you can see, roadside attraction kind of things. So
yeah, and if you've ever been on 287 coming from Amarillo and going into DFW, you've seen arrows along the way.
yeah, I don't know how many are right off the highway, but there's at least a couple, and they're really big, long arrows. Look like they're stuck straight, like angled into the ground or up, just straight down in the ground. And those are there for a reason.
Yeah, so what's the story behind that?
Well, it was something to commemorate the history of the land of Quanah Parker, of the Comanche. And it's basically the Quanah Parker Trail. It's where basically he and his tribe had gone. And I believe it was 2011, so 13 years ago, they decided to put these arrows to commemorate certain areas, and it brings to the forefront the actual history that a lot of people, like our age even, might not know, especially if you're not from Texas. You might not know any of the history about it. So they decided to put these up, and you can follow them all over Texas, Oklahoma. There's a lot of them out there. I did read up and find a little information about them. There are 70 of them in Texas. So that's kind of a neat goal. So we might start looking for those every time we drive up, just find a new one to see, because they are numbered. And we saw 2 of them today. We had gone to a neat little antique junk, weird kind of artsy shop.
More on that later.
Yeah. We thought it might be fun to go in there. And we asked them, where are the arrows? How do you see them? Are there any around locally? And they directed us to 2 of them. So yeah, it was really cool. Unfortunately, the museum that was near one of them was closed because somebody had a doctor's appointment. So, oh well, we didn't get to go in. But it's a railroad museum, basically having to do with Quanah Parker and the railroad and everything. So that's really cool. And
well, we did get to walk around the area.
We did walk around the area. There's a Quanah Parker Memorial art type installation there, and of course the arrow and everything. And
yeah.
It just makes me want to go find them. It makes me want to go find them all. So I want more trips to the Panhandle to find these things.
Sub-series on the arrows of Quanah Parker Trail.
Quanah Parker arrows.
Maybe.
Now, little history blurb here. If you don't like it, you can skip ahead. If you don't know who Quanah Parker is, like I said, he was the last Comanche chief. And his mother was Cynthia Ann Parker. And she was a white woman, but she was captured as a little girl from her family. I don't remember all the details of that she was brought into the tribe of the Comanche and ended up marrying a Comanche Indian and had Quanah and other children. she lived with them and then was recaptured and brought back to a world she didn't even know anymore. And there was kind of a back and forth, and it's a whole thing. I'll put some more down here. I mean, it's a very long story, but it's a very long, sad story. So, and it's very cool, though.
Yes.
I've read up on it lots.
So as we explored Quanah, we saw a couple of different neat places.
Mm-hmm.
She mentioned the shop. We went to Rustic Relics.
Yes.
That was a really neat place.
Yes.
It's
found a book in there. He found a book for me, The Sun. I don't know if you might have heard of that series. Well, it started out as a book, and they made it into a mini series with Pierce Brosnan as the main character. It is so good, and it is kind of historical fiction, but it's a really good series, and I've heard it's a really good read. So I have that book now. So yay! They happen to have that. They had so many just random things in that shop.
Yeah, well, I mean, how would you describe the store? It's got an
antique store, junk store, art store, just a lot of stuff. It's like if you emptied out a grandmother's house times about 100. That's how many dishes you would find in there.
Yeah, it was a cool place. We recommend, if you're driving through, check them out. You never know what you're going to be able to find.
But they have a lot of yard art out front, little spinner things and just little yard decorations and signs, stuff that they make there that they weld together and make little animals out of pieces of metal and things. It's really, really cute.
And we went to the local post office that had an amazing mural. Yeah,
there's a mural on the inside, and they encourage people just to go to the post office to see it. And the lady in there was so sweet. She talked about it and told us, about things. And we took pictures and video here.
Yeah, she even showed us the original vault, the working vault door that, had the seal of the president on it when it was initially installed into the post office. That was really cool.
It was really neat. That was just a neat old post office. I think she said it was 1935 or 1939 is how long it's been there. So it's a little old, but it was a really, really beautiful mural that they had in there.
We also saw the mural, the Coke mural next to the museum that we couldn't get into.
Yes, I love seeing old murals that are just kind of worn on the side of buildings, and for it to be a Coca-Cola one, that was really cool. So I like that. But then we did ask the lady in the post office, where's a good local spot to go eat? And she directed us to, what was it? Smash Burgers?
Scoot Smash Burgers.
And this place is just like the rest of this town, unique. It is an old shipping container turned into a tiny little restaurant. You order in one end, there's some tables on the inside, tables on the outside that have a covering over it, so they have a little patio. Apparently it's a good locals place. We went there around, 1, and
they were still busy.
They were still busy, and they stayed busy, and it's like most people coming in and out already knew each other because, tiny town. And the guy that worked there knew everybody coming in,
Oh, yeah,
really
you could
cool.
definitely get the local gossip there. I have a feeling. So.
You could totally do that.
But yeah, so that is one tip that we have for you guys, is that ask a local where to eat.
Yeah, when you go to if you go somewhere and you go to a museum or you go into just a little funky little shop that you see or whatever, do some browsing, shopping, and then ask them when you're checking out, hey, where's a good spot to eat that the locals like? You will get some good info that way.
Support the local economy, shop local, eat local, drink local if you can.
Yeah, because that Smash Burger place, if you're in Quanah, go there and get
that burger
nice
just kind of melted in your mouth.
Yeah, we got quarter-pound smash burgers. We got a mushroom Swiss burger, and it came with chips and a drink for $9.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
$9 a piece. It's like, that's cheaper than a lot of places out there, and this was fresh made right then. And they were fast, considering there was about 7 people ahead of us, like a whole family ordering.
Yeah.
And they whipped those out and then got ours done. It's like, okay, I like that.
Quanah is small.
Yeah.
But, for a little, half-day trip in, just to meander around, look at some history, eat some food, it's a great little place, you know,
Yeah.
and lots of history, lots of American history, Indian history. So
And what's funny is when we're driving around and we have the radio on, we didn't have Spotify hooked up. We're picking up, we were listening to a radio station that's basically for a huge area up here, like Childers, Quanah, Vernon, all that. And they're like, Vernon High School graduates. And they actually name off every single graduate from that high school. Now, albeit there's maybe 2025, something like that, so they can do that. But I think that's really cool. These kids are graduating and they're getting their names announced on the radio. So that's pretty
because
fun.
I mean, just the 12-mile drive in and back, we heard
Four announcements
on local high schools. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. And that's actually the reason for this trip for us, why we're out here, is we're going to go visit some friends and see their daughter graduate high school tomorrow.
Yes. So yeah, it's not too terribly far from here. So that we were like, let's make a bigger trip out of it. Instead of just going to their house, we'll just go to a state park, then go to their house, because they apparently have room for our trailer in their driveway. So park there for a night.
That's all we got for you. You know, if you're in the area, check out Quanah, stop by, get a smash burger, learn some history.
Yeah.
So, we enjoyed our day out there today, so
Yeah,
hopefully you would too. And until next time,
We will see you out there.
we'll see you out there.
Bye.
Bye.